This video is for review purposes and falls under fair use.
It's no use!
No copyright infringement was intended, and with that said, I do not own the rights to the pictures and or footage shown. I am just a fan, and the copyright belongs to Disney, Sony, and Marvel. Thank you. In late 2016, it was announced that there will be a new Spider-Man cartoon series on its way that will be taking a more grounded, back-to-basics approach. They also showed a screenshot, and it looked a bit like Spectacular Spider-Man, the way Spidey's suit was animated. We got our first teaser sometime during the summer of 2017, and it was a clip of Spider-Man fighting Scorpion, and it looked bad. It looked like Ultimate Spider-Man again. I'll talk about the problem with that later, but I was expecting it to be at least better than Ultimate. I still had slight faith that I could like the show, and more previews were being shown, and it kept getting worse and worse. The show finally aired. I watched a few episodes, and I really did not like what I was watching. So for this video, I felt like analyzing what I don't like about the series. And of course, this is all what I think. You can disagree all you want. So obviously, this is a new property. So it should try to do something to differentiate itself from previous adaptations. And this show doesn't really offer anything new or special. It's just everything we've seen before, just with new animation, and it's more childish. I'll talk about the childish nature of the show later, but with that said, that doesn't surprise me why the show is just called Spider-Man. What's the synopsis of the show's plot? Well, let me go to Wikipedia. Oh yeah, great joke right there. Am I right? You could obviously hear the sarcasm. Here we go. Enough stalling. After the death of his Uncle Ben, an intelligent teenager named Peter Parker comes to his own terms of becoming a masked superhero named Spider-Man. When he became bitten by a radioactive spider during a school field trip to Oscorp, and given spider-like powers. Does that ring a bell? It should. There isn't a single thing in this show that wasn't already done in another Spider-Man show. And it was better there. The show is inconsistent with its animation. All of the buildings are done in CGI while the characters are hand-drawn. And the characters look out of place with their environment. And the environments are pretty boring to look at. I think they did it with CGI because, hey, it's cheaper and quicker! Not only that, but sometimes there are occasions where 1 second, a character is standing in a certain spot, and then in the next, they're standing somewhere completely different. I don't think it's something that kids will really catch on to, and that brings me to another problem. The series was definitely aimed for kids. Remember earlier when I said the show looked like Ultimate Spider-Man? Well, it's just Ultimate Spider-Man without Drake Bell, and all of the superhero sidekicks. And oh yeah, for some reason, Drake Bell isn't voicing Spider-Man, but they got somebody who sounds just like him, that it makes me wonder why they replaced him in the first place. But anyways, you're doing the same style again, and you don't bother to ameliorate. That's how I see it anyway, but that's something that I'm going to talk about in my Sonic Lost World review. I'm fine with the fact that they changed the gameplay style. If Lost World were to use the boosting from Unleashed Colors and Generations, I'd honestly get sick of it. I know that Sonic Forces is bringing the boost back, but we've had a little break from it, so I'm fine with that. Well, as bad as Ultimate Spider-Man was, some of the fight scenes were at least decent. Some of them. How about this show? No. This one couldn't even get the fights right. Here's an example. Venom, one of Spider-Man's most dangerous foes. Let's take a look at their first encounter in this series. All that happens is Spidey webs him up, Venom escapes from it, he grabs him with his tendrils, but Spidey breaks free, hits him, Venom grabs him, Spidey breaks free, and then they talk for a bit, throw some stuff at each other, and then a whole bunch of loud noises make Venom run away. That was barely a fight. Just the two of them talking and occasionally trying to nail each other. Now how about their first fight in the Spectacular Spider-Man? You see, that's an actual fight. Venom poses as a threat, and is not just a punching bag that will occasionally strike back. Peter is so careless in this show. Look at this clip.
Especially when I can just web the exit shut. Getting caught in my own web isn't
Oh.
bad luck, just bad timing.
Okay.
Okay, lady, nice try.
That's
You're
the
not
thing I
dealing with
saw
an amateur
today.
here.
Oh, come on, that was right in front of you.
This was fun,
How could you trip
Spider-Man.
over that?
Maybe we can do it again sometime.
Well, at least he had the brain
that
cells to
bad
put a
luck.
spider tracer on. I had to ruin the moment. And you know how Peter is supposed to hide his identity? Well, they treat that like a joke in this series. He'll run away from an attack, and then 12 seconds later, he shows up in his costume and does his thing. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I don't want the video to wind up being too long, so with that said, those were my issues with Marvel's Spider-Man. Despite this video just being my problems with the show, this is pretty much everything I have to say about it. There is almost nothing good in this series. I thought that Ultimate Spider-Man had good aspects, but this one, not really. I thought that this was the worst Spider-Man cartoon. If you want to watch a Spider-Man series, just watch the Spectacular Spider-Man. It has great characters, good writing, an engaging plot, great action sequences, good animation, and I'd even say it has catchy music. It's not often when I think a TV show has a very good soundtrack, but Sonic X, SpongeBob, and Spectacular Spider-Man are a few exceptions. Oh well, at least I liked Spider-Man Homecoming. And the new PS4 exclusive Spider-Man video game looks amazing. It will probably be the best Spider-Man game since Shattered Dimensions. Or Web of Shadows even. Thank you for watching this, and I'm out.